welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Drakovan, and I'm coming back here today with a brand new YouTube series. And in this series, I'm hoping to bring everything I know about the Blue Eyes White Dragon strategy. I've been playing Blue Eyes now for more than a decade, and I've built so many variants over the times. Of course, now is the perfect time to get back into the Blue Eyes White Dragon strategy with the brand new release of the Blue Eyes Structure Deck. So in this episode, I'm going to start your journey at an entry-level standpoint, and we'll go through 3 structure decks, and my goal is to provide a solid start, and after that we'll branch out as much as we possibly can from pure builds, all for the sake of fun, and then we can move on to powerful meta trends that are building up as the years go on. And as a Blue Eyes player, I just want to give as much insight to all players watching this, whether you are a brand new player to the game, whether you're a returning player after you previously left due to a previous game or mechanical format you didn't like, and even current competitive players. I hope to bring some insight to you as well. So if you do learn anything today from my content, I would love it if you would drop a like and a follow. I would really appreciate that. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. So the first card we have here is a card called Indigo Eyes Silver Dragon. This is a brand new retrain from the previous structure deck card, Azure Eyes. So it's a rank 8 dragon, Xyz light monster with 4000 attack and 0 defense. It requires 2 level 8 dragon monsters, and it cannot attack directly unless this card has a normal monster's material, so typically that's going to be the Blue Eyes White Dragon. You can only use each of the following effects of Indigo Eyes once per turn. If this card is Xyz summoned, you can negate all effects of all face-up cards your opponent currently controls. So think of it as like a blanket negate, so to speak, maybe a skill drain or something like that. And the second effect, you can detach 1 material from this card, then target 1 normal monster in your graveyard or banishment for cost, and special summon it, and if you do, that monster will gain 1000 attack. So, solid card overall, but yeah, moving on. Main cards you'll be playing in the strategy. Spirit with Eyes of Blue. This is a Link 1 Dragon monster with 300 attack. 1 level 4 or lower dragon or spellcaster for its requirement. You cannot special summon except dragon monsters, and that only applies when it's on the board. If you get rid of this card, then you're no longer in the dragon lock. You can only use each of the following effects of Spirits with Eyes of Blue once per turn. If this card is Link summoned, take 1 Mausoleum of White from your deck and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. Second effect, you can tribute this card for cost. Special summon 1 Blue Eyes monster from your hand or graveyard, but if you special summon an effect monster from your graveyard by this effect, it cannot attack and its effects are negated. So effectively, special summon a Blue Eyes monster from hand and the effect should not be negated, so do keep that in mind. It's pretty good to stop certain bricks. Meet your new best girl. This is Maiden of White, a complete retrain from the original from the Saga of Blue Eyes structure deck. So this is not Maiden with Eyes of Blue, this is now Maiden of White. She is a level 1 light spellcaster tuner with 0 attack and 0 defense, and her effect is you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard for cost, place 1 True Light card from your hand, deck or graveyard face up in the spell and trap zone. If you special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon while this card is in your graveyard, except in the damage step, you can special summon her. Third effect, when a card or effect is activated, that targets its card on the field, or when this card is targeted for an attack, quick effect, you can special summon 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon, or 1 level 1 light tuner from your graveyard. You can only use each effect of Maiden once per turn. I just want to quickly note that it doesn't do a negate attack like the previous one did, so do keep in mind you might want to put her in defense mode where possible to avoid any damage, but to bring back a Blue Eyes White Dragon or a level 1 tuner is very strong. New favourite card of the Blue Eyes White Dragon strategy. This is a complete retrain, in my opinion, of the Melody of the Awakening Dragon. So what does this card do? You can discard 1 card for cost, and then on resolution add 1 level 1 light tuner and 1 spell and trap that mentions Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck to your hand, except Wishes of Eyes of Blue, which is itself. Second effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon you control, equip 1 Blue Eyes monster from your extra deck to it as an equipped spell. That gives it 400 attack, and then you can only use each effect once per turn. You probably think to yourself, why is this relevant? Well, we'll get to this later on in the videos. The next card here is Blue Eyes Ultimate Spirit Dragon. So this is a retrain from the Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. It's a level 12 light dragon synchro monster with 3,500 attack and 4,000 defense. Requires 2+ tuners plus 1 non-tuner blue eyes monster. Seems a bit tricky to do that, seeing as it's a level 12, but there is a way to get it out quicker, and we'll get to that later on. Your opponent cannot banish cards from your graveyard. Seems pretty awesome. So that can stop Bestials, for example, can stop DD Crow, it can stop Call by the Grave, etc, etc, whilst this card is live on the board. And you can use each of the following effects of Blue Eyes Ultimate Spirit Dragon once per turn. When a card or effect is activated on the field, quick effect, you can negate the activation, and if you do, this card gains 1,000 attack until the end of this turn. And if this card is destroyed by a battle card effect, you can special summon light dragon monster from your graveyard except Blue Eyes Ultimate Spirit Dragon. Okay, so note this says on the field, so be aware that hand traps, it will not affect them, so do keep that in mind. We have a card called Near Kai's Seahorse. So this is a complete retrain of Kai's Seahorse. It is no longer a sea serpent, it is a dragon, so it's a light level 4 dragon tuner with 17 attack and 1650 defense, very similar to the original. If you control Blue Eyes White Dragon, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can target one light tuner you control for cost, increase or decrease its level by 1. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can send one Blue Eyes monster or one card that mentions Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck to the graveyard, except Near Kai's Seahorse. And you can reuse each effect of this once per turn. So this can apply to the new spells, it can apply to old cards that mention Blue Eyes White Dragon. It's pretty solid to start off with. Draw the Blue Eyed Dragons. Special summon in defense position one Blue Eyes monster from your deck, graveyard or banishment, but if you control no Blue Eyes White Dragon, you can only special summon Blue Eyes White Dragon with this effect. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn, except dragons. So you are dragon locked and you are forced into the Blue Eyes strategy, so do keep that in mind. And you can banish this card from your graveyard, fusion summon one fusion monster from your edge deck by using monsters from your hand or field, including a Blue Eyes monster. You can only use each effect of this card once per turn. Pretty neat effect, it's kind of random, but the special summon from anywhere is pretty sick. It avoids the bricking. And this is probably one of my personal favourite cards from this strategy. It's called Majesty of the White Dragons. So you can show up to 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons in your hand, face one in your monster zone and or graveyard. Then you can destroy an equal number of cards your opponent controls. Non-target, by the way. Second effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard for cost. Ritual summon one ritual monster from your hand by attributing Blue Eyes White Dragons from your hand or field whose level totals exactly its level. And you can use each effect of Majesty of the White Dragons once per turn. So moving on to the reprints now. So we have 3 of the Blue Eyes White Dragon. The legendary dragon was a powerful engine of destruction, virtually invincible, and very few have faced this awesome creature to lift the tail. Until now, with the Blue Eyes structure deck, of course, you're probably going to see this a lot. So 3 of them in one structure deck, that's pretty awesome. Blue Eyes, alternative White Dragon. So 2 effects, the Exiled becomes Blue Eyes White Dragon while it's on the field or graveyard. You can reveal a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand and then special summon it. And then you can target one card on the field, one monster, sorry, and then you can destroy it, but then this card cannot attack the turn you activate this effect. But note, if you were to get rid of it and bring it back, you can activate the effect again, and then do it also. So a pretty strong card. Next one, we have Blue Eyes Jet Dragon. So this is really powerful now in modern standards, in my opinion. Definitely outclasses this one by a mile. Blue Eyes Abyss Dragon. Typically you don't see this card in normal builds, but it's very good in like ritual or strictly fusion builds. Next, Dragon Spirit Right used to be a staple in Blue Eyes White Dragon. Not much so, it has been power creeped so much, but on summon it was very good to target a back row and banish it, not once per turn. You can get it out again and again, and you can contribute it to get a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand to the field. So it was very good to stop bricking. Pretty good. Now moving on to some ritual stuff. The very infamous Chaos Max Dragon. So this thing was an absolute powerhouse in its day. Still has a very strong effect in terms of its targeting and destruction protection, but make sure if you're going with this route that you've maxed out on all the other things you need, including its little counterpart, Blue Eyes Chaos Dragon. So Chaos Dragon is really neat. You can make everything go into defense position which is very good for the strategy and can do piercing. On top of that, it also has the same effects as Chaos Max does in terms of can't be targeted and destroyed by card effects. So really neat there. And then moving on, the White Sun of Legend, really iconic card. The White Sun of Ancients, a really strong card to get the other Blue Eyes cards out through the end phase. And then this is a really nice addition to it. Not one, not two, but 3 Sage with Eyes of Blue. So really good there. This is going to be your main combo starter. So on summon, add a level 1 Light Tuner. So typically you're going to add the brand new Maiden, but we'll get onto that into the profile coming up. So that's really nice. Master with Eyes of Blue, really cool card, especially when it's in the graveyard. And yeah, I really like this card. I think it's really sick. Another cool card I like, whether or not it gets put into our initial build, we'll have to see, but it's called Dictator of D. Think of it as like a Magician's Souls, where you send a Blue Eyes White Dragon from deck to the grave, and then you can special summon it, and then you can tell your opponent which card you want to battle, so they don't have to go for him. So that's really neat. And now that's all the Blue Eyes monsters. Moving on to some really nice reprints. So one Nibiru, the Primal Being. So if your opponent summons 5 times, you can activate this as a quick effect on the main phase, and then wipe the board, and then have to give them a fat token and give yourself this rock here. So really cool. But what's really cool as well, we have Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, a staple in every single deck in 2025. You cannot tell me otherwise. This card has been around for nearly a decade as well, and it's just still one of the most powerful cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! To this day. So fantastic inclusion. And then 2 Effect Veiler. So it's also a level 1 Light Tune as well, so it's another search target, so that's really nice. So having 2 of them is really cool. And moving on to the spells now. So 1 Chaos Form to get our ritual monsters out, and then 2 Ultimate Fusions to shuffle our pieces back to get the fusion monsters out. And after the fusions, we have a card that was mentioned before. This is Melody of the Awakening Dragon, a really sick card for what it's worth back in the day. So discard 1 card for cost, and then add 2 dragon monsters from your deck to your hand that have 3,000 or more attack and 2,500 or less defense. So it's not just Blue Eyes White Dragon, it could be Chaos Max, it could be Jet Dragon, it could be Alternative, it could be even other cards outside of the Blue Eyes strategy that fits the requirements. So all in all, extremely powerful card. Mausoleum of Quiet, really powerful card for our strategy we have. It gives an additional normal summon for level 1 Light Tuners, and it's a search from the Link monster. And then of course you can banish this from the graveyard to add this. This is Burst Stream of Destruction. So if you control Blue Eyes White Dragon, you can destroy all monsters you couldn't control, but Blue Eyes White Dragon you control cannot attack the turn you activate this card. That's completely fine because there's so many other variants we can play and to attack our opponent for the LTK. Next card we have is 2 Trading. So if you have a pretty stacked hand but you can't get them to play, you can discard 1 level 8 monster to draw 2 cards. Really powerful. In case you get hand traps as well, this is your protection line. This is Called by the Grave. You can target 1 card in the graveyard, banish it, and then negate its effects and all the activated effects of the same monster's name until the end of the next turn. So a very strong card. Moving on to traps now. True Light, a very key card for the Blue Eyes strategy coming up. We use it with the Maiden of White, so really good. Protects all your Blue Eyes White Dragons from targeting effects, and then you can special summon Blue Eyes White Dragon from your graveyard with it, and you can also set a spell or trap that mentions Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck to the field, as long as it's a card that is not already on the field or in your graveyard already. It's a very powerful card. Its only drawback is if it gets removed from the field, then you're about to blow up your own board. So next, I love this card. This card's called the Ultimate Creature of Destruction. So target 1 Blue Eyes monster you control this turn. That face monster unaffected by card effects except its own, and it cannot be destroyed by battle. Also, any monster that battles it is destroyed at the end of the damage step. Cards discard in the grave. If you normal special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon, you can set this card but banish it when it leaves the field. So good, so good. Destined Rivals. If you control Blue Eyes White Dragon or Dark Magician, you can negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls until the end of this turn. So kind of like a pseudo skill drain. So pretty powerful stuff. And then last but not least, Infinite Impermanence. And then rounding things off, we have the OG Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. Such an iconic card to see. So we have the movie retrain from Dark Side of Dimensions, Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. Requires 30 Blue Eyes White Dragons. Same stats as the original. But at the end of the damage step, if this fusion summon card attacks and is the only card that's on the field, send a Blue Eyes fusion monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. This card can attack again in a row, and you can use this effect up to twice per turn. So in other words, it gets 3 attacks if it's executed correctly. And then second effect, when a card or effect is activated that targets a Blue Eyes monster you control, quick effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard and negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card, not once per turn. So really, really good. And then more fusion on the way. Blue Eyes Twin Burst Dragon. It cannot be destroyed by battle. It's more or less a battering ram. At the end of the damage step, if the monster is still on board whilst this is attack the monster, you can banish it. And you can also contact fuse with it by using 2 Blue Eyes White Dragons on the board. So really cool monster. Probably the most strongest one out of the lot in my opinion. Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon. So equipped with this card, when you have a Blue Eyes White Dragon equipped with a fusion monster, you can cheat this out by tributing the Blue Eyes White Dragon and then get this out, or you can do the fusion summon requirement properly, which is so easy. It's just simply a Blue Eyes White Dragon plus 1 dragon monster. I can't get any more simpler than that, it's just that good. It can tackle monsters once each, and then it's unaffected by trap effects, or trap cards in general, so that's really good. And then once per turn, at the end of the damage step, if this card battled, you can target a trap in your graveyard and set it. Wow. So I could set this, you know, anything I want. So sick. Really, really, really good card. Synchro reprints, Blue Eye Spirit Dragon, probably the most common card you're going to use in your Blue Eye strategy. Neither player can special summon 2 or more monsters at the same time, so a few pendulum summons will get locked out. Once per turn, when a card or effect is activated in the graveyard, quick effect, you can negate the activation. And then third effect, you can tribute this synchro summon card to special summon 1 light dragon synchro from your edge of deck in defense position, except Blue Eye Spirit Dragon, but destroy it during the end phase. But what's cool, if you bring this out, you know, using this effect and this gets destroyed, this can bring this back. So pretty powerful card for what it's worth. And then the original Azurai Silver Dragon compared to the retrain, so not that powerful like it used to be, but on special summon until the end of the next turn, neither player can target dragon monster you control with card effects, and they can't be destroyed by card effects, so pretty neat. And then once per turn during your standby phase, target 1 normal monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So this can apply to 2 monsters. So the reason why I say 2 different ones, because not only Blue Eyes White Dragon is a normal monster, but the Dragon Spirit of White is also classified as a normal monster when it's in the hand or in the graveyard as well, which is pretty sick. Of course, as the Heraldic Seals of Heavenly Spheres, extremely powerful card for a defensive play, requires 2 dragon monsters, and once per opponent's turn, if this card is in the extra monster zone, quick effect, tribute 1 monster from your hand or field, return 1 face-up card on the field to the hand, and then if this card is attributed by any means, you can special summon 1 dragon monster from your hand or deck, but make its attack 0/0, but its effects are still alive, so that's still pretty good. You can use each of the following effects of this card's name once per turn. Cool, so that was pretty much in depth, but yeah, we're going to go into making 3 structure decks out of this and see where we go from there. Alright, so back in a few. Alright, now that we've looked through all the cards from the structure deck alone, I've compiled 2 more of them together and constructed a deck out of it purely from the structure deck. So through testing, I have found that this is pretty good as a started mid-range deck, which is good for the beginner because it means it shouldn't be too hard to pick it all up once they learn the deck, and after that they can branch out into other places, which is really good as well. What I've also done, I've done a very interesting sideboard in case anyone wants to switch things up a little bit. So I hope you like my profile, and I hope it gives you a little insight of how to start playing Blue Eyes White Dragon in 2025. So let's get on into it. So we'll start off with the main deck first, as like always, and because we're doing the first initial deck, I decided to play 3 Blue Eyes White Dragon. Of course, I've gone for my favourite artwork out of the lot. So a lot of people are playing 2. If you are starting off on this, I probably suggest going to 3 because I focus more around a fusion build, so a little spoiler ahead. So 3 Blue Eyes White Dragon, then I will run 1 more Blue Eyes Dragon, and that is Jet. I have looked at the other cards and I thought to myself they might be okay, but at the same time with the new support it tends to be a little bit bricky. So Jet is really good for protecting everything else, and it will protect Blue Eyes White Dragon as well. So moving on, I'm playing 2 of the new Neo Kazuki horse. Now my reason behind this is because I feel it's a good way to be a starter. It's a level 4 dragon as well, so very good to get into the link. And then once it gets sent to the graveyard, you can start like a chain link. So so when it gets sent to the graveyard using the link 1, you can start a chain link, which is really cool. But what I really like about it is like it says you can send a card to the graveyard that specifically mentions Blue Eyes White Dragon, and this is where I decided to play White Stone of Legend, because I feel this is really cool when you paired with this, because it's an if effect and not a when, so it will not miss time. And it's cool because it means it gets Blue Eyes White Dragon to the hand, so another way to get the fusions going. I then opt to play Stone of Ancients as a backup plan to get Jet out pretty easily. And then of course your main starters, to no one's surprise, 3 Maiden and then 3 Sage Advisor Blue. So like as mentioned before, Maiden is very fantastic. If you use Sage first to search this, then this will get into the True Light, but typically you are getting to the True Light with this card. And then whenever you special summon Blue Eyes White Dragon, this can bring itself back. And then when it gets attacked, you can special summon a level 1 like Tuna back. So these work pretty well in tandem. So that's my reasoning behind it. Sage is really cool as well. The normal summon effect is not once per turn, so you can add these back as well from your deck. So these are pretty cool like synergies in my opinion, so I thought it pretty cool. I'm opted to play 1 Dictator D, and my reason behind this is to act like a Magician's Souls, where I can send a Blue Eyes White Dragon from the deck to the graveyard and have not only the hand live, but the graveyard live as well, to make sure it's ready to get into my fusion plays. But what I like about it as well, if you pair this with this, it's a pretty dirty combo where you are forced to attack into things, so you can make your opponent attack into the Jet Dragon. As long as Blue Eyes White Dragon is in the field of the graveyard, this can start bouncing things, which is really neat. So moving on to the non-Blue Eyes stuff, I'm opted to play 2 Nibiru, 3 Effect Veiler, and then 3 Ash Blossom. So although I like Nib, I don't want to see too much of it, so I think 2 is fine as a starting point. So very good if your opponent summons 5, is a board wipe, and then you have a token on the opponent's board in the attack and defense position, you have a choice, and then you put the rock on your board. Effect Veiler is not once per turn on the main phase, so that's pretty good. It also synergizes pretty well with Sage as well, so you can get this as your backup. And then Ash Blossom is Ash Blossom. If any time your opponent would add a card from deck to hand, or special summon from the deck, or send a card from deck to graveyard, you can send this card from your hand as cost, and then negate the effect. Not the activation, the effect difference. Okay, so moving on. To nobody's surprise, the best card in the deck, Wish Advisor Blue. You need to play this card. You know, I don't see any reason why you shouldn't. You know, you discard a card and then add 1 Light Tuna and 1 Spell Trap that mentions it. So it gets you into your plays. You know, you can start off getting into the Maiden or the Sage, whatever you need first. So extremely powerful. And then, like mentioned before, you banish it and equip the fusion Blue Eyes to a Blue Eyes White Dragon, and that will get your Tyrant out. Next, of course, because we are playing the links White, it's an additional normal summon as well, and you can target cards on the field to send a normal monster from your deck to the graveyard. So what's really cool here is you can use the Maiden and use this to target this. This in turn will trigger to special summon the Blue Eyes White Dragon as well. So that's pretty sweet. And then I'm playing 2 Ultimate Fusion. I could play 3 if I really wanted to, however I felt I don't want too many in case I have really bad hands. So yeah, so using the monsters from hand, field and the graveyard I think is very possible. And then on top of that, with Blue Eyes White Dragons on board, whilst you activate this and shuffle everything back into the deck, depending on how many blue eyes are on board, you get to pop that many cards, non-target, so very powerful card for what it's worth. I then play 2 Roar the Blue-Eyed Dragons to get Blue-Eyed White Dragon from my deck, graveyard or banishment back to the board. So very, very powerful card. And then if I need to, I can banish it to conduct another fusion summon. So pretty good there. And then the last 2 spells, non-Blue-Eyed related. 1 trading, 1 Call by the Grave. I don't really have much level 8, so I only have 4. So I think 1's enough due to space. And then 1 Call by the Grave to tackle against hand trap. Onto the traps, I'm opting to play 2 Majesty of the White Dragons. You could play a 3rd arguably because it's pretty easy to get the Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand, field or graveyard. But entirely up to player's preference. If you want to play 3, by all means play 3. But this is more or less your main interrupt. It's a very powerful card for what it's worth. And then probably the strongest card you'll play in your deck trap wise is Infinite Permanence. It's Effect Veiler essentially, but a little bit stronger because it's not just the main phase it can go on. So really, really good card for what it's worth. And then the 2 cards we need to play, or at least one of them, is the True Light because it works with the Maiden, and then everything revolves around making this to get the blue eyes, and then to start your combos off that way. And then 1 Ultimate Creature of Destruction because I had space to do so. So moving on to the extra deck now. So because we are starting off, we might as well max it out. We have plenty of targets here. You know, we have Kaiser Seahorse, we have the Stones, we have Maiden, we have Sage, and we even have Dictator. So any one of these can get into this card, so really, really strong for what it's worth. Use this on summon to add the Mausoleum, and then you can tribute this to special summon the Blue Eyes White Dragon from your graveyard. So really, really powerful. Again, get the Maiden going. Just a quick one though, just please remember that if you use the effect to tribute it to special summon a Blue Eyes monster from your graveyard, the effects will not be live and it can't attack. But don't forget, you can use monsters in your hand, so you can summon the likes of Jet Dragon, or even other cards like Dragon Spirits of White if you want to use that card as well, if you are struggling with a lot of back row hate. So that's pretty cool. Next link, I play 2 Hieratic Seals. You could play 3, but my choices differ because I want to try everything the structure deck offers. But it's a no-brainer. This, if you don't have a good board, so to speak, and you need a backup plan, Hieratic Seals you go to. Just requires 2 dragons, so pretty nice to have. Moving on to synchros, I run 2 of each, Blue Eyes Spirit and Blue Eyes Ultimate Spirit Dragon. So you're typically going to get in this card a lot. So it has a negate, as mentioned previously, but the tag out part is probably the most important. So what's really cool, you can use this to tag out on the opponent's turn, and then you can special summon this one out. Now you have a negate on the board as well. So not from the hand, but anything that adds face on the field. So negates and gains 1000, so that's pretty strong. But if this does die, you can special summon a Blue Eyes monster back. So you can special summon Spirit Dragon back. But please note, when this happens, this is not classified as a synchro summon anymore. So you cannot just tag this out, get another one. If this dies, you know, bring this back, effect, to get the other one back. That's not how this works, okay? So just do keep that in mind when you're playing in your local environment. It says synchro summoned, okay? So please be wary on that one. And then finally for these synchros, because why not? Azure Eyes, if we are coming across a very targeted strategy that our opponent's playing, then this could be really crucial to keep our dragon protected for at least a couple of turns, depending on what's currently on our board. So that's pretty good. And then of course on our next standby phase, we can bring back a normal monster. So when that happens, we can special summon Blue Eyes White Dragon, and then get Maiden back, and then start the combo going off again. Moving on to the fusions now, playing 2 Blue Eyes Tyrant, probably going to be OTK button. It can tackle monsters once each, so really powerful there. Also unaffected by trap effects, so very powerful. Very easy to summon as well, thanks to the Wishes of Eyes of Blue, the new spell card. So yeah, that's pretty good. And contemplating that, we'll use the Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate, all depending on the game state and what everything is. If our opponent is wide open, we can basically do this and do what Senpai does, but 1,000 times much more cooler. Attack, effect, send this, attack again. And then if we want to go in for one final blow, but if our opponent wants to target us for anything to try and stop that, I don't know, maybe a magic cylinder for example, you can use the grave effect to banish this to negate that effect and then destroy it, and then closing for the kill. Yeah, so pretty good there. And then finally, for our last card I'm opted to play is the Indigo Eyes. Probably going to play this the least, but it's an option, right? You know, it's a 4K body, but it requires a normal monster to attack. But the cool part is, on summon, you can negate your opponent's current board. So that's pretty powerful as well, you know, if you need to be. But typically that would be a game ender. But now I want to go into the side deck now. So a little bit of choices, just purely for when you're starting off. So of course you got your cool Kyber token. If needs be, if some of the cards are not working your thing, you could definitely try to run a Neo Kaiser Seahorse, a third one if you have to, if you're feeling things a bit clunky. But then I thought to change things up a little bit, maybe just keep my opponent off guard, and then we'll go for the Chaos Max variant. So I choose to do this with one alternative, one Abyss, because Abyss works really well with this by getting the ritual spell at the end phase, and then I can banish this, target this, give an extra 1000 attack. A second Dictator to dump a blue-eyed white dragon, use the Chaos Form, banish it, get this out. Spirit of White in case there is a lot of back row, hey. Nib in case I need something more, need more consistency I suppose. And then for the rest of the side deck is Spell Form, 2 Chaos Form, 2 trading. This disc will complement what we described, maybe more bricks. So we might not want to see these, so using these to get these might work. You can use this as a Blue Eyes White Dragon when it's on the board or the graveyard as well, which is really cool. And then to round things off, I'm going to play 2 more Melody of the Awakening Dragon and 1 Majesty of the White Dragons. So same logic kind of, so more consistency to get to these faster, use this to get to it faster, and then I can use this to show a Blue Eyes White Dragon, get this to board, or if this is in the graveyard, this still classifies as a Blue Eyes White Dragon, which make this live as well if I don't have enough Blue Eyes White Dragons in the graveyard. You can only have to show up to 3 though, so just do keep that in mind. But no, honestly, this deck is sick. I think if you are returning to the game or a brand new player, you are definitely in a very, very good spot right now. So yeah, thank you very much for watching my in-depth analysis of the deck profile. Like I said, I intend to expose and exploit as much as possible, many variants, many Blue Eyes decks as possible, and yeah, we'll see what cool combos we can come up in the way. So in the next episode we'll focus more meta, we'll get that out of the way, and then after that we'll focus more expanding into maybe more fusion and synchro builds, and then move on to more rituals and see where we go from there, kind of a thing. But anyway, thank you so much for your time for watching this video. Please again like and subscribe, that would really help me out, and I really hope I can help you guys on your journey in your locals, regionals, or even a YCS. So until then, I hope you have a good day.